to episode 2 of my new Dondorian town project. So let's fix up a few more things that I need to fix up before I can get started. And then we're going to work our way towards coal and ore. At least basics, you know, some basics. I want to get something done on that end today. I hope that'll work. So, previous time I got pretty much everything up and running that was very important, but Paperboy, hi there, you're fast. But yeah. Let's see. Let's get back to the productions. We are on a very positive ratio at this point. I do remember that I expanded my pasture. Alright, it's now coming all back together to me. So the big next step is to get up our coal industry, I think. Yeah. So there's our next bigger goal. Let's see. Where do we build that up, though? We'll see about that in a minute. Okay. So, my biggest question right now that's driving me up the walls is what could I export that maintains the flow of money for the grain for my bread production. I'm thinking meat. I mean, if we check this out, we are producing more bread than we are consuming. That would be an option. But that would mean that I sell away all the buffers of food stockpiles that I got. I dislike that a lot. So I think I will stick to manual imports for a while longer. I do one thing though. Let's go for one form of export already. And that is a slowpoke export furniture. As furniture is one stuff that we can reliably produce in endless amounts, and that's no issue at all. How's the development progress going? Excellent. I think the full release is scheduled for the beginning of next year. So if you buy in now, you basically get pretty much the whole game already. There's not much left anymore that needs to get done. It's a very full package now. So I have no trade agreements, of course. Imports and exports, they don't work without trade agreements. Silly old me. Ugh, well, that is a problem. And we're also only going to export the top 20%. So, hello there, Zarmal. Yeah, if you have a game since a longer time on your wish list, I think now is one of the best times. It's basically, or at least to me, it feels like RimWorld felt like 1 or 2 versions before it was full release. That's pretty much that. RimWorld was eventually few weeks before the full release, or a few months. It really felt like a completed game already. I didn't feel much of a difference there, in all honesty. Once it was done, I mean. Okay, next step, set up coal bins and discover the art of charcoaling. Then select where to do charcoaling. I think I'm going to stick here right across the pasture. There we go. Considering a big workshop, but I don't. It is nonsense at this point to go for the real big guns. It's just not getting you anywhere. You are just getting yourself into logistical issues. That's all. This is already pretty much of a big deal, what I was setting up here. At least for the current capacities of my city, that is. So, cram in the auxiliaries somehow. It's better. I want this sort of storage. Alright, we're currently lacking symmetry. So we can make it like that, or we can make it like that. We're lacking clay. Tiny amount of that. No problem, though. Let's open up a bin and order some from our friendly Cretonian neighbors. Yep, it's one of those early access games that really developed well and provide fully what you expect from the game. From a good early access title. So, we're going to trade back pretty much all of our furniture here and fill up the rest with meat. That's okay to me. We reproduce the furniture in no time, so that'll be no problem whatsoever. Okay, I'm slowing down on picking up new people now into the town, because well, what's up here? So, oh, he's being extorted and he's asking for help. You know, I'm going to help you out. The friendship between Cretonians and Dondorians strengthens in this run, I see. And the point is, we don't need to wage war with everybody. We can also grow filthy rich and buy everybody. There's a lot of options that you can. Alright. I think I will, though, order some manual tree chopping again. In times of need, never let me down. Okay, so we got now the charcoaler's workshop up and running. And let's say we're letting two charcoalers do their thing now for now. And let's say, oh boy! Ouch! That strikes me hard. So, yeah, we are here. One charcoaler can do his thing right now. Wow, I didn't expect it to be that harsh. But it is what it is, eh? That means we need to expand on our wood cutting again. So let's wait until some furniture has been made. And the good part is we're going to export the coal that we're producing to buy new stuff. Whoa, speaking about new stuff, grain's empty. That's why I want to automate that, but we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. So I do like the fact though that we can trade meat for grain, but I won't do this too excessively now. Let's take stone, because you know we would trade away all our food that we currently got for ourselves, and I don't think that this would be a wise idea. Chris Crass, hey there! Glad to see you. Always a pleasure to see familiar faces. Alright, what goes well though is our technology points. They are developing strongly upwards. And I got 24 pieces of furniture now, so let's pause the game and refurnish our woodcutter to sport 2 more workers. I don't know. Let's make that 4 more workers. 3? Alright, let's stick with 3. That's okay too. Just want to make sure that... Oh, 0.9 is already all it takes, eh? There we go. Just want to make sure that we can keep up with the new consumption. I do love how woodcutters behave now in the current version, though. I keep repeating myself, but that is only because it was so unbearable before, alright? That's all. it was so annoying to have to adjust or assign constantly new micro jobs for the sake of woodcutting. It really ticked me off quite hard. Now we still need to micro some woodcutting, and that is when we build new buildings, but that's that. It's all micro. Ooh, Devoid the Wolf, hi there. Oh, boy, so many old familiar faces. So yeah, and I am happy to say that I guess you will see me more often now, because I'm picking up the streamers profession a little bit more again. Because I managed to realize that this is the best way to give you guys regular gameplays that I can also live off of, because money sucks. End of the line. So, Smelter. We can finally start making, and when the Dondorians start making metal, that's when they start making profits. Because we are really good at making. Let's do a small smelter thing. When I say small, I mean small. This time we really keep it down to 5 people. There we go. I'm staying true to my word this time. It's going to be a small one. I said it and I mean it and I keep it. Alright. It's just because I don't think that I'm going to be able to provide enormous amounts of ore in the next time to this building. Therefore, I keep it on the down low. YouTube's going really well. The only problem is that gameplay videos on YouTube are really barely worth the effort. I work an hour for $1, basically. Or $2 if I get lucky. It's just, I love what I do, but I don't think that I need to explain to anybody that I can't live off of that. So I fell back to making more tutorials because these sell way better. And I love to help people, so I love doing tutorials. It's very simple. I really like doing that. But the problem is I can't do tutorials all the time. It burns me out. I need some leisure time to have fun from time to time. Speaking about which, my Dondorians also need some leisure time. I like the idea of setting up little benches in front of the workshops where people can chill out, you know, between your shifts, just popping out of the building and sitting your lazy bum on the street, or on the bench instead of the street. Sounds like a great thing. Alrighty. We have only 2 workers available right now, though. But our Kratonian friends were so kind to generously give us a big pile of ore, and I will transform. After that, I really don't know yet how I want to go with this, as we're currently on a constant import of grains. I don't know what we're going to export. My idea was that I should really try to get an ore mine running as quick as possible, because now I got the coal and I pick up the ore. Metal is worth lots of money. With that stuff, we can really grow rich. That was at least the idea. And I find it very befitting for a Dondorian city to export coal, metal, you know, and coal. Of course, why not? Now then, let's export some furniture too. And on top of that, some of that meat, or all of that meat, because we have now bread, backup bread. That sounds weird. We got backup bread. Okay, but that'll work out. Okay. But I really need to keep those grain imports running, because currently we're consuming 36 pieces of grain a day. These 200 pieces of grain that I'm importing, that's just 5 days. Barely a little bit more. So, the metal smelter shop is ready. and they're already tossing themselves into negatives. So I'm picking up new people now. There's a simple reason. We can now do pretty nice things. I can now spread more light into the city. And if we are already proactively producing metal, I insist on proactively providing light for the city. That's the earliest I have access to regular metal production I've ever had in this game. So, we got a big fat ore patch here, but it's going to be quite a chore to access it properly. Building a mine into the mountain here, not with the current workers, huh? Not really. So first up, it's going to be a monumental task to dig ourselves something into the mountain that allows us to work here. So we're going to start with that monumental task here, because every mountain needs to be made a home, one day at a time. All right, the new lights, well, they require stone, and we obviously ran out of stone. We should get stone out of this endeavor here too, don't we? Well, frankly said, a tad bit confused, but we'll find out. So, let's see. We're producing way more coal than we're consuming on our smelter. I think at the end of the day, when this patch of ore has been smeltered through, I am very inclined to just sell the coal, process the wood, and make some business out of that. Because I guess that could be really a good deal for us. For the time being, of course. Okay, once we have freed up some area here, we can clearly set up a ore mine, and as you see here, this is a majestic vein. We can expand on this severely over the course of the time. That's not the right word. Massively is the right word. Alright. Let's provide more light. Add in more people whenever they want to join. Keep an eye out on our grain imports. So let's see. The lighting satisfaction is already pretty high, so there's not that much more profit to be taken out of that. What a shame. But it is what it is. So what technology will bring me now next the best possible influx here? Upgrading food stalls. Now that sounds like a pretty nifty idea. It's very cheap too. We just need to import some pottery and we're good to go. Beyond that, well, none of these are too cheap in terms of construction or tech point investments. I think the fight pits are one of the most low-cost, high-yield investments that we could go for, but I will definitely see to a food stall upgrade. It just requires 24 pieces of pottery. Deal. So let's go and... what did I say, 24? Yes. I was just surprised about the high number here for such a small food stall thing. As you see there, it is quite costly. I'll add in 30 for the janitors so they can keep things in shape. And we're just going to start paying up our bills now with metal. Huh. And furniture. Huh. I love it. This is going to be where we're starting our bigger business, I guess. So we're also going to pay with coal and some meat. And obviously I need to fill up with stone. So if I press barter now, yes, I get the rest in denarii. Really should do that more often. Okay, so that's been a quite costly thing, but upgrading this does massively upgrade the quality of life here in Dondorian town. I guess it does make a big difference if the food from your stall is kept in a clay jug instead of... Let's not talk about the rest. So, let's pick up more workers. And we are out of housing. That's been fast. So our tunneling part goes ahead quite well, but we still need fresh building material here. Okay. So we're starting to run out of grain yet again. Well, let's check back with our consumption and production rates. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. The good part is, even if I'm very broke, I'll never be so broke that I'm going to be unable to import some grain. Obviously, I might be unable to import all the grain that I want, but there's always going to be money for some of it, which is a really, really good thing for me to rely on. So we're selling away the meat, we're selling away the coal, which is sadly not much worth. And again, we need to fill up a little bit with stone. That is bothering me currently the most, that we are always needing to fill up our deals one way or another with a tiny smidge of stone, but well, now it is what it is. I don't mind it too much. Let's fill up the place here with smelters so we can finally smelt away all the remaining ore. That will get us somewhere as well. This city is so far a very, very exciting experiment to me, as it is a very different gameplay experience than the stuff that I'm usually going for. Our Entelodon pasture will give us more and more meat to sell. It's an upscaling industry. And speaking about upscaling industries, I think we are overall doing quite decently. But yeah, alright. It seems to me, though, that we would be better off doing a little bit less charcoal and a little bit more furniture. Furniture is currently a very valuable good. Most valuable good that we can export, as far as I can see in the time right now. So yeah, that brings me up with the idea. Speaking about ideas, we do require some light in here, don't we? Oh, no, we should not. Not before we got a janitor's service range in there. Although, never mind me. Nice. Wow. That's a big old radius. Let's wait if it seeps into the mine or if we need to expand our janitorial reach. Otherwise. Okay. That is some wealth. So let's see. How much can I sell one, or how is the ratio here on the smelter? So we're transforming ore 1 to 1. So every piece of ore eventually transforms into one piece of metal. So there's no loss in conversion. So if I demand one piece of ore, it costs me 76. If I offer a piece of metal, it gives me a tiny profit, but it never will be any loss. At the same time, ore seems to be pretty valuable. I mean, on the other hand, if we would be demanding one piece of metal, you see the difference. So importing our metal in form of ore might be not smart in terms of exporting the metal directly, but it is definitely cheaper than importing metal altogether. That is definitely a good take out of this. All right. So we're in need for our next grain fix. I really need to get this into bigger deals there a little bit sooner rather than later, because it is obviously no, I'm not. I don't want to export metal. You can't do way too many cool things with metal. Let's export meat instead. It's at least a permanent resource. I think this pasture here is one of the best long-term investments that we got here for the city so far. Yeah, this part here doesn't go well. Here, these guys are working really long, because as you see there, there's really a high amount of stone in these grids. But I let them do their thing, because that means we'll have a lot of stuff to work with for the next few cycles. I really want to have that. Alright, so let's notch that down to something like this. And something like that. Let's see, I'm producing 5 units of charcoal a day, and that is absolutely enough. We are now no longer that negative with our wood production at that end, and let's see if we crank up the carpentry. Can we afford that? Yeah, that's okay. The idea behind that is I just realized how much the Crotonians pay for carpentry. Or furniture. It's no wonder they suck at doing this stuff by themselves. So it is only natural that their economy is paying lots of money for that stuff. I love this game. Okay. So that will be a very, very slowpoke production of metal nevertheless. So let's look ahead on the road. I want to add in a couple of extra researchers here, because we need to add in the blood sport factor into our city. Yeah, we need an arena. We need more people, and currently I'll either build better roads or I add in arenas. Do we have to ask any questions? What sounds cooler? I don't think so. Now, jokes aside, the roads would not add in that much satisfaction to the city. It is much more powerful to have the blood sport thingies going on for it, because that'll satisfy an entire new field of service. Whereas adding in better roads would only add in some here. That bar, the environment would fill up a little bit more. And as you see here, environment has a grand total of 21.5 points of fulfillment in total, whereas services has a much higher yield and much less fulfillment here. We got to look at the question though, how much do they like fighting? Is there any difference between the people? Nah, everybody loves fight pits the same, except for Argonash and Cantors. They're boring after all, so they don't really get to vote here. So we got Bloodsport, but let's give this a triple check if I'm not overlooking something here. Obviously, I could go for plumbing And that will allow me to get me some ponds and pools and stuff. That's pretty cool. But the main takeaway here would be posh relief. But that would be 300 tech points and would require stuff that I don't have right now for that upgrade. Also bathing, but bathing is even more costly than the other stuff here. Nah, I think this is just the right thing to go for. Let's go Bloodsport. So, the fight pits come in different sizes. I'm going to set up one here. Well, do we go for the... Yeah, we're going to go for the smallest format. This is still a pretty big one, so... Big enough for the city right now as it is. We don't really need anything bigger than that. It binds workforce after all. There we go. Living right next to the arena. What could be cooler than to wake up by the death screams and the clashing of weapons here? Alright. And just like I said, it is immediately showing, so let's give this a moment before we need to take care of our grain imports again. So there we go. 13% already. But I do notice one thing about the Dondorians. They are one grumpy bunch, and it is true that they are hard to please, as in, you really don't get as many immigrants on their end as you do from other races. That's absolutely a thing. Okay. Grain imports. The same old, but I think we are good to go to import a wee bit more this time. Something like that. I'm producing way more furniture than before. We can also introduce a bigger amount of coal. And we can easily top it off with an excessive amount of meat. Yep. Everything is working out fine. We even have an overproduction of meat after importing a sizable chunk of grain. Things are coming together right now. Look at that. That is what I like to see. So our export depot can't work yet because we don't have any trade agreement. So let's look into trade agreements. These guys want to have 7.4k for a lad. Ugh. Quite the costly bunch, eh? So let's see. We can toss in the metal eventually. So I say that's the plan for now. Yeah. To me, it makes a lot of sense to use the ore they gifted to me to buy myself a trade agreement with these guys. It's a perfect circle. So, there we go. Let's re-employ those guys. Although we don't have enough coal production to maintain that. Too bad. Just work like that with 3 people? Yeah. So we'll keep it up like that. That's a real good point, Purple Goo. That guy does not really have to work here, but he will have to work there in a few minutes. Ah, well, we are currently so in need of workers. I'm going to delete the entire room because I'm not even sure if I'm going to put the depot there. Alright, let's add in a couple of extra workers. And let's see. Things are working out as intended. Nice. So, Mr. Janitor. Ugh. 3 people working here. How annoying. Let's set up auto-employment on this end. Annoying as it might be, it is a necessary evil. So, you guys did tunnel into the mountain properly. Wonderful. And the janitor's sphere of influence ends right in front of the mines. They just don't want to feel responsible, if you ask me. Now, that means the situation is worse than anticipated, because that means we're going to dig out here a large portion of that cavern, because we're going to have, of course, a subterranean janitor. What else? I mean, come on. What should the Dondorians have otherwise? I mean, it is only fitting that we have a daytime janitor, or a daylight janitor, and a mountain janitor. Let's put it down like that. Okay, I want to add in a few more crates here for grain, so we can add in a bit of a higher import rate. And I think we're almost good to go for our first ore mine. Ah, brilliant. So let's see. I really want to keep it as small as possible. 85 workers, are you kidding me? 85 workers would find work in there, and that tiny department there. That is unbelievable. Wow. Alright, speaking about efficiency. The thing is here, why I'm keeping it so small is simple. The more workers I put in, the more auxiliaries this place requires. It's just like you will need to fix in so many more items there to reach 100% efficiency. That'd be pretty bothersome to me. Therefore, we're trying to keep things as small as possible here, with little success as it stands. So we need to... This is really the smallest storage that's possible. I didn't expect, honestly. Alright, that does the trick. So this place is fairly inexpensive, actually. Brilliant. We just need to put up a janitor's place in there. So let's copy pasta this thing in there. Can we use mountain walls? Nah. Let's see what happens if I flick in the... So... yeah, whatever. I've come to accept these weird requests of the AI quite generously out of one simple reason. If these guys are in a good mood towards my empire, they give me better trading prices. And honestly, I don't really need the materials that they were requesting too badly. So, whatever. Having good relationships is worth a lot in and on itself. Damn, we need more lights in here. It's way too dark. Okay. So the whole fight pit shenanigans here didn't do too much, eh? How about wells, though? Is this... Ah, it's a quality thing. Alright. For a moment I was thinking we could get something by just adding in a few more wells, but I was wrong, obviously. Hey, Ghost Dances, I do put a playlist for this whole thing together, so you can watch it in a serial thing, but I cannot promise that I will do a narrated gameplay series for Songs of Syx anytime too soon, because every time I did, the audience score was terribly low, so I beg the forgiveness. That's just what it is. But I do my best to keep the streams of mine on the same quality standards as my usual gameplay series, so that is what I am doing on my end. Alright, we are chock full of furniture. Let's talk with these guys to become trade partners, because seriously, it is about time. Look at that. Accepting these weird gift requests dropped the price for the trade agreement quite substantially. Nice. So here I'm undercutting the trades thing here with furniture as much as I can to avoid investing metal. Because why should I? Metal is currently still a finite resource, but not that much longer. So I will set up the export depot right there now. That looks like it's blocking the way of things. I think I need to remove the torch there. It's not looking like it's working as intended. Ah well, it is always this thing with gameplay series Paperboy. There's just not nearly as many people who are willing to just watch a narrated gameplay as I would need to get something going here. If you are featuring those really if you're featuring a lot of a big audience base, like the bigger YouTubers, like 100,000 subscribers plus, you have such a big viewer base that you can release whatever you want. Your regular viewership pays for the effort, so to speak. But if you are in my size, you just don't have that luxury. You constantly have to struggle to get somehow a equation between your work-life balance. And I can only say the last 5 years it was more work than balance on my end. I don't want to mope here or anything. I love my job, but I also need to watch myself. You know, I need to do this. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Either way, that's just what I made recently out of these things. So, why does this janitor not have walls? Somebody care to explain? Okay. Just asking for a friend. So, we're going to give this thing then... Blocked by structure. Dismantle at burst. What? This is very, very odd. But I mean, at the end of the day, maybe you don't need walls out down here where we go. Probably that's the case. I don't know. Very, very weird now, though. So we ran out of grain. So I also should now set up finally a recurring trade pattern. So let's make this the last of these manual trades for time being, if possible. I even set up some metal on top of that. Because like I said, metal is not that much of a scarce resource anymore. Those times are slowly over. Let's chop some trees. I never feel good without a proper stockpile of things here. Alrighty. The mine's ready. Hell yeah, we got this, my friends. We got this. We have our own cycle of ore production now. I'm not going to employ anybody in the mine as of now, as it is not necessary, not at all. Also, I really think Dear AI, one janitor is more than enough for the time being. We're also going to set up another house in here, down in the mountain, as I think this is absolutely going to be where people want to be. I mean, it's a Dondorian dream house, basically. Okay. That's a good foundation. As I look at it, we have pretty much the whole cycle down now. We have only a very slow trickle of metal, but if I would be start to employ the miners now, if I remember correctly, 3 miners pretty much satisfy our current consumption of ore. What's that? Boom. We got metal. Nice. That is seriously nice. So our next step to wealth. So how are we going to go with this? I think we're going to export metal straight up and blunt, because we got now a steady supply of that stuff, so it is not any issue for me to sell it. I will go for a poll limit of only 10%, so we're going to have a steady and massive export of this stuff. So we're exporting 90% of our metal production for the time being, which is to me totally fine, because if we have any projects that we need to fulfill with metal, we will do either change or patterns here, or we're just going to crank up production. Might take a while longer what we need to do, but most of my other cities just never had any production of ore, so that's the other extreme. Alright. We're importing grain, and I want to maintain a 50% stockpile at all days. Just like that. Next step, we're going to offer something we can export safely. Let's say some furniture. And ask for some denarii in return, so the import business can kick in. Nice. So I think this should work now. Except for the fact that... Or did I set it the wrong way? Only pull when the storage exceeds that limit. So, is the metal line in the other crates as well, eh? Alright. So, obviously they, I should really remove that one. There we go. We don't need that one anymore. There we go. So, in a nutshell, we should now have stupendous amounts of denarii. Exactly. And that is where my city is finally truly stable. Ha! Beautiful. Making me truly, truly happy, my friends. Okay. So, the next big step forward is setting up a new lab. I love my tiny labs, not gonna lie. Really cozy little things. Only 12 pieces of furniture. And can lock in 12 people for sciencing. But currently we don't need to lock in anybody for science's sake. We currently only need to upgrade the road tech. I want to have that, as this is not only giving my people good vibes, it's also going to give me faster movement. So we're upgrading from 5% speed, 20% speed. That is quite the difference. So we need the conversion tool. And this is so cool. Just flick it over this thing, and just like that, bam, you upgrade your entire road network. Ah, no, it's the wrong road. Okay. Stop what you did there. Yuck. Paved road. Not this, filthy Bretonian crap. Alright. That's how it should look like. EFT Breakout, hello there, welcome. Alrighty. So, it's really odd how much influence that has on your folks, but check it out. It does have a huge influence on your folks. There we go. That allows me to lock in a few more people for science's sake. And like I said, it also makes my industries faster, so it's definitely a win on both ends. We're also gaining stupendous amounts of money now due to our metal exports. I love that. So probably we're now going to set this to 30%. Stack up some more metal for the time being. So the road network project is a bigger one. I expected as much. So let's, while we're talking about bigger ones, refill Mountain Cave. I knew there was a job like that. So we're going to do this like that. Going to go and dig in here so we can get ourselves that quarry going that we were dreaming of. I mean, any day is as good as today. Love it. So happy about this. Now, we're also going to export furniture, as metal is one thing that we are producing, but as you see here, my stockpiles of furniture are already backing up. So I personally see no reason whatsoever to hold back on exporting the stuff. We are going to go for a larger amount of stockpiles here, nevertheless though, as I personally see furniture as a very, very valuable material. So there we go. And we keep a grand total of 50% of the production for ourselves. There we go. The rest can go off into the markets. Alright, my friends. We are going places. Let's... yeah. Placement thing is not longer. Correct. And then we are going to go and set up the same small-time operation quarry-wise up here as well. So we can get ourselves a good, regular income of stone. And not just this occasional income of stone, so to speak. Alright. So I need to upgrade the radius of my warehouses, at least of this larger one, as I want the stuff that is being produced there being hauled into the warehouse there too. Currently, as you see there, my ore is running out. Why is the workload low now? Would you kindly tell me? So that is usually the case when people are not finding the services they need in the proximity of their workspace. So we're going to set up a small little town square in the mountain here. After all, that's what it takes. Let's make a small food stall in here as well. We're going to get this underground thing here into a good shape. There we go. That should do the trick. I hope I'll convince people that they don't need to walk all the way back to go back mining. There we go. Just like I thought. Wonderful. Alright, money-wise, we're making huge progress here. It's just what I was hoping for. Let's employ more scientists. Scientists are really, really important, especially early on. Lots of extreme temperature warnings recently. Quite surprised about these. Expect that. Alright, so... stone mine. Other people would call it a quarry, but let's call it a stone mine. I don't mind. Alright, 12 people. That's enough for me. Let's put down some auxiliaries. Some fancy little storage. And we're good to go. Bam. Love it. So now we got all the goods. We got stone, ore, metal, coal. What more could a Dondorian wish for? Sithalon, of course. There's always something. Never forget. So, let's see. How much does one dude here produce? 6 pieces of stone a day. Not bad. So we can totally use that for the sake of money earning, in my opinion. So let's see. I think my smelter is not working on full capacity. I think they are constantly lacking some coal. Exactly. That's kind of sad. Well, let's employ another coaler. And I think this is where my wood production drops into net negative again, so we need to fill out this corner here. 19 people then. That's okay for me. We kept so far expanding ye old business constantly. So it's only fitting that eventually we set up more capacity than we can currently fulfill extra. Speaking about extra capacity, gosh darned, those Dondorians, they are such a picky and an annoying bunch. There we go. Just want to get this place out of net negative wood production. It's bothering me. There we go. It's just a meager +1. It's not enough for me. Okay. There we go. Let's set up some extra torches down here. Let's make a big one here. Small one there. Another big one here. Small one there. These are not so much out of a gameplay perspective, but more out of a fluff perspective, where I personally think it would be just wrong not to have them, in my humble opinion. Alright. So, what can we tech up now to make our place a little bit more comfy? So, oh yeah, markets. Damn, we're lacking an entire service segment so far. I'm such a fool sometimes. So let's plop down a market and see the population numbers rise, I think. Now that explains a lot to me why things were so stifled. Or at least I hope so. Alrighty, so we're don't want to have livestock or furniture or clay, pottery or jewelry or Sithalon, gems, all those things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, this should still satisfy the needs of the people. Oh, that was such a dumb move from me. Ah, well, this is how you can fumble it up that easily. Alright, we're lacking housing. Let's see. Well, only inefficiently. Only inefficiently. Well, let's not wait until it actually turns into a problem on us. So, I thought I ordered you guys to haul things in here. Where is there? Ah, there's just no stone stockpile here. That's why. Now it should work. Okay. Now then, I got a couple of workers at hand, and I got a couple of tech points available. So where do we go next? Obviously, tailoring and clothing would be an amazing thing to go for next, as well as going for upgrading our services. So, fancy markets, 300 tech points, fancy hearth, 300 tech points. This one is 1,200 tech points, but I don't think we are quite there yet. Taverns, well, nah. Not really realistic. That's just... Taverns are so gosh darn costly. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Masonry. Yeah, let's go for masonry. So... It is, to me, only correct to drop the Mason's workshop directly into the city like that. And we're going to make it no walls. So we're just going to fill it up with mountain there. So the Mason's workshop requires metal, but that is the least of my worries. So, there we go, some storage, and obviously some stabilizers here. Okay, that's that. And we're going to refill Mountain Cave. Just like that. Alright, and all it takes now are a couple of workers. Yeah, you take my crap. It's just a few more things. And that is where we can now employ the stone miners and add in a couple of crates for cut stone. Nice. Alright. This'll get us quite somewhere here. Let's see. So our quarrymen produce more than enough stone for us to employ quite a lot of people here out of that, eh? So, yeah. Let's keep 2 masons running. Because cut stone, man, cut stone is such a valuable resource. And here, the true power of the Dondorians shines. These guys are natural-born crafters. They're just so good at crafting that we won't be seeing any bigger troubles whatsoever in getting the stuff produced. Let's see, production-wise, yeah, 1 point. We get a 30% multiplier on this production there. That's a lot. Okay, that also means that we can now go for easy and cheap technologies that allow us the usage of cut stone one way or another. Let's see where that could be. We can't use fancy roads yet. So obviously we do need to allocate some more people into the labs. Let's do it like that. I might have no access to pottery, but I do have now access to all the other refined materials that we could wish for. That's a big step forward. We do have a small... It is a slowpoke production of cut stone, nevertheless, though. But it is a production of cut stone. So... Great. What a city, my friends. It's really going good so far. Okay, so where do I go with my tech points next? So, plumbing and posh relief. Or fancy markets. I think the whole water industry is so far interesting as we got access to water up here. And we got pretty much all the materials that you require to go for the whole bathing stick. But the downside about all that is I don't have the workers to get the whole industry moving. I can't forget about that. That is not really feasible at this point in the game. So, well... Let's see, where do we go with our tech points then? I think we should definitely go for tailoring next, to get our people happier on that end. So... I think I'm going to go for these. The thing is, this whole water technology branch is amazingly powerful in the long run. Okay, we do require 64 pieces of pottery, but we will require pottery these days more and more often. So that is not really a big surprise. So we're going to offer you some of our coal, why not? But I don't want to export too heavily, therefore we're putting the rest on the tab, off the tab, up with Nari. Ooh, I don't have enough storage space for all the pottery. Okay, 64 pieces of cut stone are quite a lot, so let's get ourselves the masonry men going. And fast forward that for just right away. Ugh. You're starting to annoy me, old pigface. Maybe this is maybe the Dondorian-Cretonian friendship is that isn't as high as I thought it would be. Let's see about that, old chap. So when we are going negative on workers, I am going to release some of the masonry people. There we go. Yeah, like I said, it is a slowpoke production, but at the same time, people are going to love the new lavatories. Finally, we got really good stats all over the board now. On that end, boom. Check out the service high. There we go. So, I'll be ordering the chopping of some trees manually. And at this point, well, kind of wonder why. God, such issues there. Keeping up with our food production, as you see there. The numbers here are really piddly low. Would assume that there's just too much stuff on the food stockpiles. So we're going to copy that bakery then. Because if we got new toilets, we might as well have a new place where we bake bread.
You make weird connections.
I know. She's noticing it too, so you can as well if you want to. Alright, so we got now a lot of extra workers. And hopefully the food stockpile situation will find some relief, because I really feel not quite well about what I'm seeing here. And the food days are not in a state that I can think good about. Not at all. Alright, so let's see. It seems to me as if all the overproduction is landing directly in the food stalls. So altogether, stuff's working out as intended, I'd say. Let's go for a couple of extra pottery pieces to upgrade my other place. So these days we're paying our goods with denaries. That's a really, really good feeling. And let's upgrade the other food stall as well. On the bright side, my pasture is slowly filling up. 4 more people aspire citizenship. So we can safely churn up the numbers here. So I think we do need more woodcutters yet again. It is a vicious cycle, isn't it? And with 5 more people in the city, we should now have no problems whatsoever in keeping up the tech tax. So 5 more people doing the science now. And 5 more people in the citizenship. Alright. So, where to next? Love to see that we're now constantly producing some cut stone. That is a really, really good step forward. Where can we go next? I mean, I would have a super easy time in improving my laboratories with metal. We got so much metal available. On the other hand, I don't really know if it's going to be what we need. Yeah, I think the really next stepping stone for me are going to be tailors. So we're going to make that. So let's toss the tailor to this place. Oh, not building under the mountain anymore, so we need walls again. And there we go. I don't want to go any bigger than that. At least not in this workshop. And now we just need to find out how we're going to get ourselves some leather going. But I already have a plan. So we're going to adjust our hunters to produce leather for us. We don't really need the hunters' meat production anymore for the city's well-being. We got our meat production on the pastures. That should be enough. So, hate to see that we're running out of stone when we got ourselves on our own quarry here. Oh boy, we can upgrade mines with the metal we're producing. That is quite a luxury. Okay, so we got a leather production of 6 units a day. That is just one dude producing clothing. That is making me a tiny little bit sad inside, but whatever. Obviously, the leather production of the hunters is not high enough to satisfy the needs of the industry right there. So we're going to answer this by just setting up another hunter. That should then bring me the capacity to have 2 tailors working. And for a very small city like mine, oh, yeah, thank you for the crap ton of cutstone. Yeah, for a small city like mine, that should really do the trick. Let's set up more stone miners. So I now end up swimming in cutstone more than I actually wanted to have all of that stuff. So yeah, time to set up another export valve. What can I do? We need to export it if it grows overhand. No use in not selling off stuff. Warehouses are full. So our pull limit is going to be very draconic, so we're only going to sell off cutstone when we are at 90% of the total stockpiles, but this stuff is not going to do anything good for anybody of us. There we go. So the net positive production of stone, we're going to work around that the same way. Storing my stone over there in the small one, right? So, go for the configuration. And here it's the same thing. We're only exporting if we are above 90% of the stuff. But, well, since I got quarries running that permanently produce these materials, we can do the same thing for wood here as well. I got woodcutters, quarries, and their productions will just run into nothing if I don't export the stuff. It's laughable numbers that I'm exporting here, but I feel like a fool if I don't. So that's the thought process, at least. So see here, only 4 denarii each. It's a joke, but at least the overproduction of my woodcutters now is not going to go into waste anymore. And money makes people happy, so it's not only in your world and in your life like that. You are a Dondorian or a Crotonian or whoever. We all love to have some money in the bank. Where is it again? I think in the government tab. Yeah, here, riches. Let's see, is there anybody truly anti-capitalist? No, none of them. They all love their riches. There you got it. Denaries make happy by themselves. Alright, now, with the tech points I got, I'm going to research the bathing tech. I got all the things that I could ask for. We only need to import ourselves some clay, because I need that to upgrade my wills. So, clay, luckily, is dirt cheap, like the dirt it is, So we can easily buy that stuff right from the get-go. Delivery man comes. Now we can just easily upgrade these wells like that. It's not much, but it does do quite a lot still. Because now the fulfillment for these buildings grows quite a lot. So a -4 on my workforce. How so? What kind of iffy building did I finish now again that drains all my workers, huh? None. That's the... Ah, yeah, I built a series of export depots. Obviously, that's draining a couple of workers. But, yeah. So... 9 hunters, 2 tailors. Well... And not even volley, so... But it's good enough. So, I didn't really develop that tech only for the upgrade of the wells. It's obviously also for the bathhouses. Because bathhouses are really, really powerful leisure buildings. So let's make it like that. There we go. Doors. Ah, I keep forgetting that I can't add in the road here. So we don't want wooden buildings, obviously. So, well... Damn, that's too narrow. That's just a way too small building. It is. There we go. That's more like it. It's also going to be quite costly, but I really, really don't mind at that point. Because we got the materials, you see. Here we go. This thing will put a certain strain on my coal production again, but what can I say? We got it. So we're going to use it. Dejan, what did I do for the happiness? So, first and foremostly, I focused on upgrading services. So I already run upgraded food stalls. I already upgraded my wells. I already upgraded my lavatories. I went for fight pits and stages. That was last episode already. So basically, I really went for as many goodies as possible, but it only recently started to work out decently when all of these things came together. I've had quite a lot of problems with the happiness underdudes myself as well. They're quite grumpy folks and they're hard to please. It's really like that. It's no over-exaggeration in the options menu at the beginning. I really didn't expect it to be, expect them to be that needy and picky. Alrighty, so we need more housing units. And it seems to me as if it is also about time to consider another upgrade of my food industry one way or another. So, well, speaking about lacks of stuff, we need more rock. But I think the major thing that was really different from all of my different approaches, previous approaches, was that I imported extremely early grain to make bread out of it. Because bread is that one food that makes those people happy, and it really does make a lot of a difference in my personal experience. That they have food. And I used really all the little tricks. I imported metal to build torches and the decorations. I started very early to build furniture and slapped down benches everywhere. really need to play all the little tricks that exist for the needy Dondorians early on. Like I said, I didn't expect it to be that much of a pain myself when I started out. I expected to have much more problems with the food production, but it turned out the food production was the least of my worries. Keeping those Grumsters happy, that was the biggest problem so far. Since you cannot go for any procreation either, you don't get to have babies. You only have immigrating dwarves. So that's just it's a harsh world, eh? Okay. So the new housing is ready, and the bathhouse is too. So I'm going to reduce the amount of workers here to a minimum to begin with. Let's see. 3 workers. 4 workers. No, thank you. So they'll actually think better of me if I decline the gift of theirs. What a weird world we're living in. Here, take or money and or human slave. We are actually happy if you don't take him, but we offered it anyways for the kindness of the gesture. Weird people, I tells you. So the bathhouse is eating up more coal than I anticipated. That thing is just hungry. Wow. Okay. Luckily, it's no problem. Our charcoaler can easily just crank up the production. The only thing that we require to do is to assign a couple of extra workers left and right, and just everything goes about fine. I love that. It's always good to have a well-prepared city at hand, in my opinion. Okay, so things are starting to come together, aren't they? Yeah, here we have now the happiness explosion because of our bathhouses. Obviously, that is just extremely nice, and it is time to pump. So, oh boy. Pumping water? Nah, not today. Not today. We don't have the necessary workforce. As much as I would love to pipe water along the way there and have our people have better bathhouses and all, but nah, not today. We're just not there yet. All right, so we got 1,750 points available, and our target is about 2,000 points strong, roughly. Not quite, but 1,900. That means our scientists are not done yet cranking out fresh tech. All right. That is, in itself, already a piece of good news, I'd say. We're also exporting strong. But I'd say we're going to copy yet another one of these labs. As it stands right now, I really feel as if we need to get the upgrades on the tech side going as fast as possible. We still have enough food production for the time being. Yeah, let's add in 7 people. All at once. I know it is quite the pressure, but at the same time, we do still have food production easily. And it allows me to just ramp in those people right from the get-go, and then we can just wait until we have those 1,200 tick points, and then we can just upgrade all the labs, and then profit. So, yeah, that should work out fine. We're at the verge of the breakpoint where things pay off like that. So we still have 15 more people aspiring citizenship. It's really good. So we're going to set up bakery number 3. Honestly, at this point, it would be easier to just set up a an upgraded bakery, but we we don't have the tech yet. And I really don't want to spend any tech points right now at this phase of my expansion. Instead, we're just going to clap in another baker, just like that. Get those 5 people back into town. Add in a few more houses for the people to live in. That's that. Absolutely. The problem there is with the services and the happiness is always your worker count. I always try to get those upgrades going that don't cost any workers first. Shrines, benches, torches, roads, all those things. I really try to stress out these methods as hard as I can before I start using those services that actually need something there. Oh, we can upgrade the stage for just some cut stone. Love it. Alright. So now we are really heavy on the grain import side. I probably want to increase the grain import cost, the grain import slider here a little bit. Okay. Yeah, Dondorians just suck so hard at farming that if you don't have a phenomenal fertility around yourself, you're better off buying that stuff. You can so easily earn money by just transforming wood into furniture. Dondorians are so good at that. They are so fast. You're just way better off that way, in my personal opinion, experience. All right. So far, so good. Let's check with our access menu here and see what we can do. So we're going to give our folks a little bit of furniture things. This is also something that you can do to increase the happiness of your citizens. It's also pretty powerful. So they're currently consuming 4 units of stuff per day, per year. That is almost nothing. So we can safely offer our homes a full furnishing of stone. Let's do that. Happy people live in homes that are furnished with stone. At least if you are a Dondorian home and household. Yeah, now we're finally rolling. That's the point where I want it to be. People are now totally streaming into our city and asking for citizenship constantly. That is exactly how things should be. So, we could upgrade this place with some weaponry as well. I mean, at the end of the day, I do have a lot of money and I can facilitate a lot of it, alright? So, well, I'd say... Wait a sec. Unavailable lifestyle? Why? That's weird. Just wanted to upgrade my herding places a little bit. So, well, let's go for something else first. So my basic idea is a very simple one. We're drawing a road up into this direction here, because that's where my water district will be, and also the pastures. We do need leather from somewhere. The easiest way for me right now is to produce that leather locally on pastures. So those have the nice side effect that they also yield some meat on the side. So we're going to have a really nice win-win situation here. And oh god, that sucks. My quarry is not in the never mind. We have our mountain janitor fixes that. All right. Speaking about janitors, we need to expand our janitorial grid up here. I made it a good habit of mine to set up janitors as the very first thing somewhere. Hey, Boncheck, hey there. I don't know that game, sadly, so I can't relate. But, congratulations. So, let's chop down some rocks on the fields again to fulfill my building needs. As you see there, there's really a lot of pressure on my shoulders right now. And my scientists are slowly sciencing things together to get me the high-tech stuff that I crave. I really hope that I have enough points, but I think I should. Alrighty. So, we're running out of wood again. I hate that. How come? Well, we're only on a very slink advantage towards our consumptions. What happens right now? On the right side, we're producing so much metal and furniture that we can easily import all the grain that our citizens here eat. That's so good. Alright. Guess the road was quite a big cost factor at the end of the day, huh? Oh. So, let's do what we always do. Set up a small-scale city center. That's just so good. It's one of those habits, another one of those habits that never fell on my hands, however you want to call it. It's just good to have a backup here of sorts. So there we go. Copying a couple of things. Services. That does eat workers, though. Every one of these buildings here does consume a couple of workers. The janitors do, the food stalls do, so I really took quite some precautions to make it worthwhile. Yeah, my wife has made this wonderful cat parkour behind me, so they have something to climb and something to hide from the dog. So, let's see. I need to turn on the groundwater. So, if I pump it like that, let's see, we can use the entire sea. That's a very, very relieving start for me. So we're going to have these pumps entirely on groundwater. So, being partially on it does not provide enough. So we're going to fit in, of course, as many of these as we possibly can. And then we turn out canals. So I'm pretty sure that I will be completely unable to set up extra pumps in the vicinity here. So we're going to use that as our exit. All right. Let's remove the groundwater stuff. And we also remove workers here. I don't really want to have any workers whatsoever so far. We're going to upgrade each and every pump, as this gives us a really nice advantage. And then we're going to go for our first leather pasture, I'd say. There we go. Slow and steady, but we're doing it. There we go. Let's keep the network growing first. So I'll be needing a aurochs pasture, if I remember correctly. Exactly. The auroch is the animal that yields leather and meat. That's what we're after. So I'm going to go here into that region, as close as I can to the forests, where I eventually will have some woodcutters, I presume, but for today, not yet. Yeah, well, that's our new pasture. What an oddly shaped one it is. So we're going to make the gate this direction, so the output of goods is going to be easily reachable. And yeah, it is an odd number in terms of workers. I am very, very pissed about that in a weird way, but whatever. It is what it is. So, am I exporting coal already? No, I'm not. So that's another thing that we should totally consider in our export schemes, as well as bread. You see that we're getting that export road build more and more. So let's see, we got ready breads, but here it is the same. We only export when we are on a really, really high number of that stuff. But it's the same logic as it is everywhere. Overproductions don't get us any profits. So we got the bread, and the other thing was the coal. There we go. Here again. Quite restrictive one. Alright. So that'll cost an ungodly amount of timber again. But at the same time, it kills two birds with one stone. For one, I get finally my leather production up, and the other factor is I finally get the meat production up, and meat can then be sold for other good opportunities. So we're going to pipe the canal along the way here, because it's always important to have water. And then I don't know how I'm going to roll along the way there, so we're going to take it slow here. Let's give the AI the worker assignments here. I'm going to keep 2 workers to begin with, as I really think this should be totally enough. Alrighty. I could earn some extras if I'd be just... Oh, I need more pottery. If I could be just importing some livestock. Tell you what, we're going to do that. I got so much money, and importing 20 pieces of livestock right now will get so much of my problems out of the way. That's just going to be extremely good. Because I'm fairly bothered by the fact that we would be unable to fill the auroch pasture quickly here. It just feels not good to me. Okay, let's see. Do we have... Yeah, we have housing issues, of course we do. That's because people live where they work. So we need to change something about that as well. Let's set up some housing here. And assign a couple of pump workers. There we go. So let's see, our production and consumption rates are equal-ish. So let's hire a couple of workers. And realize that you need to facilitate 2 pumps. Already for that lousy nothing there. So, well, I would love to have more auroch pasture running along the way here, so let's design that right from the get-go. Here again, I'm avoiding to steal the room from the... Oh, come on, you! Was not what I meant to do. So I'm going to avoid stealing the room from the woodcutters wherever I can. So we definitely should shrink it here, so I can wind the canal over there. Yeah, let's do that. And yet another gate. There we go. So that's going to be quite the heavy investment, but I realized leather is not only good for clothing, it is also good for gear of war, and that is where we will eventually have some fun with. So, since the Dondorians are a high-tech... Nah, they're not a high-tech faction, but I like to consider that. We're going to play a culvert here. Okay. There we go. And then... let's see if that is already enough for the freshwater excess here. Let's clear some rock that's just lying around here. And then we got all we need for a massively upgraded industry of meat and leather. The real bright side about all that is that we can export that leather again, either in form of raw material or, well, we can choose for ourselves. Can really do a lot of goodness with that. So we ran out of workers again, officially. So let's keep one worker going here. So... my science pool is just still not there yet, damn it. So we got... tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make ourselves the life as easy as possible and just build ourselves another lab. Just as simple as that. The city is well able to take up way more people than that, so I really don't see any bigger issues with that. Our production and consumption of food is absolutely able to take that. My current plans are getting the city into a bigger food production than ever. So yeah, let's expand wild and viciously. There we go. Now we have a guaranteed source of that. Oh no, an accident. What a shame. So let's see, we got now, oh, well, it's a narrow one there. Hey, Xer Eagle, so this game is a empire builder. So you first build the city, which is going to be the capital of your empire, where you eventually get to conquer, if you want to, the entire world out of here, if you put it up. You get to conquer all other spots of the world. You can build then settlements, and you can, for example, conquer another place and set up a woodcutting venture there, and then the people of this place will send you regular tribute payments of the stuff that you built there. So it is a city builder, and it has a hidden 4x component in it, which makes this game really, really fantastic. I hope that was somewhat helpful. Yeah, it's... don't let the looks of this game fool you. It is one hell of a deep game. So let's unlock the upgrade for our labs. So there we go. We just need a very, very low amount of metal for that. But we had to build at least 4 labs to get more tech out of the operation than we invested. It's just as weird as it is. Anyways, so let's see. This place does not have fresh water yet. Too bad. After that it should. Hey! Real baths! Not with well water, but with real water! Warm, fresh water. So people are no longer caked in shit and mud and whatever. Yeah. Alright. So this is, I think, where I will take a break for today, as we've done a good job so far, I'd say. We got now all the stuff going the way I wanted it to go. We got a really neat production of bread. The only thing I'm a little bit bothered by is that, yeah, well, it just seems... Yeah, I need a break. 2 hours of hyper focus on this game are enough to make my brain feel pretzely, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. So feel free to check on by on another time, and thanks for being around. See you all on the next